We're going to be looking at the digestion in each and every part, continuing from the last video, from the last lecture. Okay, let's start with mouth. We've already discussed mouth is also known as buccal cavity. Okay, it consists of teeth, lips, tongue. These are the structures that are present. Secondly, when you talk about the enzymes and the chemicals that are present over there, obviously there is saliva, and saliva consists of water. It consists of mucus, and it consists of salivary amylase. Salivary amylase, right? The digestion that generally takes place in the mouth is of two types: is mechanical or physical digestion, and then there is chemical digestion. In mechanical digestion, the mastication takes place. Mastication is chewing, right? How does it takes place? By the help of teeth. Teeth break large pieces into smaller pieces, smaller ones. Secondly, there's not only this, also mixes the food particles with saliva, right? It also mixes the food particles with saliva. The teeth, they chew, they roll the food around and they mix them with the saliva. And in saliva, there is water, right? So this is where the chemical digestion starts. Number one, food mixes with water, soluble food particles start to dissolve, especially for the taste. This is where the taste comes in. Those food particles are absorbed and they, upon different receptors on the tongue, it provides you with the taste, right? Then there is mucus, helps create, helps lubricating food to move down the alimentary canal. And the third is salivary amylase. It starts to break down starch into maltose. This is the first. This is the first chemical digestion that starts to take place. Okay, is this clear? In the mouth, there is no other enzyme. There is no other. There's only water, and these things they start to now. What has happened? This creates a bolus. These things together, they create bolus. Bolus is what? Food particle that has been chewed, mixed with saliva, wet, sticky, chewy food the ball that has created. This creates bolus, which is what that is chewed, food that is chewed and mixed with saliva to create a ball form. It becomes kind of a small ball. Right? From that you can remember bolus. Go ahead, I want you to write it down. You obviously know the saliva generally that we talked about, the saliva in mouth is actually coming from, saliva in the mouth is actually coming from where? Salivary glands. Right? There are small ducts, salivary ducts, which bring the saliva, they release the saliva in the buccal cavity. All right. The glands are right there beside your jawline, underneath your tongue. Right. Food is then moved from your, it is moved down the buccal cavity. It goes through pharynx, which is the place, which is the connection between the esophagus and your mouth, the buccal cavity. It rolls down from there. There's something which is called epiglottis, because if you're going to see, if we consider this to be a mouth, let's say this is a mouth, the food through, this is the palate, these are the teeth and everything, the food is going to be moved down. This region is going to be called the pharynx. This moves down and there are going to be two tubes over here going down, right? The windpipe, the trachea, and the esophagus. Esophagus. So the food needs to move down into the esophagus. So there's a covering over here which is called, kind of a covering like this. This is kind of a flap which opens up or closes down to cover the windpipe. This is called epiglottis. Epiglottis. It's most of the time it's like this. Kind of like this. It closes down. It closes down when the food is coming down. It's called epiglottis. This covers the windpipe, the larynx and everything, pipe, trachea, when food rolls down and directs it to esophagus. Right? It's the mouth. So when this takes place, after this, the food enters esophagus. The few things we need to know about esophagus. Esophagus is a continuation of the alimentary canal, the gut. Obviously, like all of the alimentary canal, it has goblet cells. Similarly, it has those smooth muscles. What were the two smooth muscles that we studied? The circular ones and the longitudinal ones. Why? Because peristaltic movement needs to be taking place. Peris, peristalsis. Peristaltic movement needs to be taking place. right? The important things that you need to know about esophagus is that no digestion takes place in esophagus. No digestion, no absorption of any sort takes place in esophagus. Okay? Right? And no absorption, digestion, no absorption. The main function is what? To connect mouth to stomach. It takes the food, takes food or the bolus now to stomach. Right? Esophagus should be O O E S esophagus.